So it seems like it's been a really long time, but the Hangout is back on air, and today discussing the Spartak performance and the match, and the topping of our group in the Champions League. We have Hassan, we have Paul. Gentlemen, today it was a stunning performance and a stunning victory. In the last game of the group stage, we managed to batter the shit out of Spartak, and we cruised to the knockout stages in some style, topping the group. What did you guys think about it? Paul?
That is just Liverpool at their best. When Liverpool are good, they are very, very good. And tonight they were exceptional. The performance, honestly, at times I felt Spartak couldn't deal with us. I wasn't expecting it either. After the last game, I thought that knocked the wind out of our sails. But we put that Sevilla game well and truly to bed. Start to finish, just an amazing, literally an amazing attacking performance. That's the kind of Liverpool that we were watching 10 years ago. That's the kind of dismantling we would dish out to teams in the Champions League back in 2007, back in 2008. Liverpool are back. I feel like Liverpool really could be back. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's the Liverpool I grew up watching.
Just jinxed it.
Oh God, it's my fault. Sorry, guys.
Just totally jinxed it. You totally fucking jinxed it. Hassan?
Why did I say that?
Hassan, what did you think?
I mean, it's not what I think, but in a remarkable circumstances, James Milner is leading the Champions League in assists with 5. Can I just say, he had 3 today.
That's amazing. That didn't even cross my mind.
Which is that I was just looking up the numbers. I'm like, wait, what? James Milner is what? And yeah, we were excellent. But I mean, what else can we? I mean, we just won 7-0. So the disappointment is that we didn't match our old record of 8-0 against Besiktas. I mean, and when that's the disappointment, I mean, they couldn't handle us. They had no idea what to do with us. And I thought it was interesting that Coutinho played on the left rather than in the middle in a 4-3-3, and I think we looked better for it in a 4-2-3-1. I mean, everyone deserves credit. Whenever you win 7-0 in the Champions League, everyone deserves credit. And unfortunately for Spartak, for anyone who knows a bit about Russian football, this is Spartak Moscow in recently. They're a team that's very capable of capitulating at the wrong moment, which made actually their title win last year so remarkable because they managed to put that to bed. So that gives us hope, I guess. But yeah, everyone deserves credit of that performance. And well, we're back to the round of 16 for the first time since 2009.
God.
Yeah, I think so. The first thing is obviously that we're back into the round of 16. We should have been back the last time we were in the Champions League, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Today's performance, I thought we would win today. I thought, we had more than enough quality to win today, but to do it the way we did it, 7-0, right from the off, we just took it to them. And quite frankly, I don't think any defense can really cope with the front four that we have when it's on fire like it is today. And Hassan, you made the point about it, being a midfield two, because it was a midfield two with Wijnaldum and Chan sitting, and we just look so much better in a 4-2-3-1. I just think that should really be the way forward. But wow, this was superb. So I want to talk a little bit about Coutinho, because obviously he was the man of the match today. When he's on the way he's on, few in the world are better than him in terms of being able to run a game and basically kill a game. Paul, talk to me about Coutinho, what you thought about his performance and the others as well.
The armband fits him. It really fits him. It suits him down to the ground. And I said this before the match. He's the only player that we've had since Gerrard left who's been up to the task of wearing the armband. And tonight he proved, in my opinion, that he's a captain. The actual footballing performance was outstanding. He deserved his 3 goals. The third of them obviously was very lucky. But he was on absolutely top form tonight. And I think he brought brilliant performances out of the other players as well. That for me really was a captain's performance. He brought other players into the game so well. He knew where the net was. I can't really fault what he did at all. Best player on the pitch for me by an absolute country mile. Salah, Mane, Firmino in that front three with Coutinho as well getting involved on the left. That's breathtaking when it takes off. For me, out of that front four, Coutinho, even in spite of the fact that the others did a very good job, even in spite of that, Coutinho was the best player out of that front four by a country mile.
Awesome.
He was excellent, and I think what it showed again, like he has been a guy who stepped up in the big moments for us. Actually, let's say in the FA Cup semi-final, he scored a goal. He scored a goal in the League Cup final. So he is one of the few players we've had who, when we needed someone to get us through, he's been up to the task. And today, he was just magical. That might have been his best performance in the Liverpool shirt, really. And him and the entire front and the rest of the front four just deserve so much credit. They were just amazing. And we scored 23 goals in the Champions League, and that's that's really down to them. And pleased for him, and hopefully that'll convince him to stay. Although that's probably not happening.
I just I gotta say, today the front four, the way they looked, the way they were interchanging, just the chemistry that they had, they never looked better for me. It was just wave after wave of just incredible pace. And how can the defense really deal with something like that? I mean, that second goal that we scored, it was such a thing of beauty from the mistake that they made. Firmino with the absolutely unselfish ball back and picked out the right ball for Coutinho, and it was just terrific. From the word go, it was an absolutely terrific performance. Jurgen Klopp and the staff deserve full credit today for the way they prepped this team to go out there, and they did their jobs. And this is what we want to see from Liverpool. We want to see this kind of consistency, not necessarily beating teams 7-0, but controlling the game, from start to finish, and not really having a problem throughout the game. And today was textbook. Today was done right down perfectly. Let's talk a little bit about the next stages now of this Champions League, because this is going to be interesting. So let's list off some of the teams that we can face. One of them, so Hassan, Paul, fill me in when I don't mention some teams. Bayern is there, Madrid is there, Basel, Shakhtar, Juventus, and Porto. Is that correct? 6 of them?
Yeah.
Okay, 6 of them. Obviously, Basel is, the one that we all want, but Hassan, if we didn't get Basel, who would you, and you kind of, we were talking about this off air, but you talked about either getting a big game or getting something that we can advance into. Where do you want to be in this?
In all honesty, I don't mind either. As long as we're in the round of 16, I'm satisfied. And if we get a big game against a Real, Bayern, or a Juve, bring them on. I wouldn't get my hopes that high up, but bring them on. We'll deal with it then. But if we get even Porto and Shakhtar, those are 2 tough opponents who are well managed, who have good players. So, Shakhtar just beat City, to be fair to them. So I don't think, besides Basel, there's no easy game in the round 16 this year. But I don't mind either option. I'm just I'm a bit relieved that we managed to get through to the round of 16.
And Paul, do you see it the same way in terms of 2 different buckets, or do you or are you single-minded, we need to progress from the round of 16 on to the quarters?
I'm relatively neutral, I got to say. I mean, there's an extent to which facing a team like Shakhtar or Porto gives you more to lose maybe than if you're meeting Juventus or you're meeting Bayern Munich at this stage of the competition. Because to go out to a team like Shakhtar feels a lot more disappointing
That's
than
right.
going out to a team like Juventus at this point. I think I'm neutral going into this. Whoever we play, we play. And I agree with Hassan. He said it perfectly. Bring them on. You know, we face a tough task if we play Real Madrid. We face a really tough task if we play Bayern Munich. But we have to believe. We have to believe that we can go and give them a game. And we've got enough about us. The team isn't perfect, but we've got enough about us to go to Munich, to go to Turin, to go to Madrid and cause some problems. You know, we're no mugs ourselves. You know, they might not want to draw us.
That's true.
And also, do you know what? We've got a transfer window as well. If we can use the January transfer window to bolster our defence, possibly add a midfielder, though I think maybe the midfield is a touch less likely than a defender. Who knows? We could become a force in this competition. We've just got to believe. We've got to go into it with the right attitude, as Hassan said. Bring them on and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. One of the things Hassan and I were discussing off air was Madrid and how Madrid are not exactly in the best place right now. Obviously, the round of 16 is a couple of months away still, so they could be in flying form by that point. But I don't think that we have anything to really be fearful of. It's not like we are one of the favorites to win this competition. You know, this season has been more about getting back into the Champions League and doing well in the Champions League. So I'm actually quite open. And I personally think that we'll draw Bayern. That's what I think. That somehow, you know, the Klopp Bayern connection will come about, and we will end up playing Bayern. And I don't fear Bayern. I think they should be the favorites in the tie, but I don't fear them. I think that we could definitely go to Germany and even win over there. Yeah. So I'm not too concerned about who we play in this competition anymore, because our attack can give any defense a hell of a time on their day. So I'm quite confident. I do hope, like you said, we do add a defender, possibly Virgil van Dijk coming in would be a huge catalyst for a really positive run in this competition. So I am quite excited for what comes next in this competition. How far realistically do you think we can go? Obviously, we've done the impossible before. I'm not suggesting we'll do it again, but realistically, if we got a favorable draw, let's say against Basel, quarterfinals, semifinals for this team?
Liverpool is so unpredictable. That's the thing. Like, we could reach the semi-final, sod it on our day. We could make the final. I don't think we'll win it. We probably won't make the final. But one of the nice things about being a Liverpool supporter right now is we're so unpredictable. And when we play well, we're full of surprises. It's hard to predict. To be honest, if you ask me what I want out of the immediate future in the Champions League, I think I want the glamour tie, because even if we go out to the round of 16, it's been almost a decade since I saw a knockout round competition game at Anfield in the Champions League. To have a glamour tie like that, if that's what we get, then brilliant. And if we come out on the losing side of that, then, you know, for now, that's fine by me. We've proven that we can at least get here. And in seasons approaching, then we can use it as a catalyst to move on to better things.
And I don't think fans would be too upset about going to Madrid for an away tie. Let me
It's
put it
a
that way.
great city. Why not? You know.
Yeah, I don't think that they would be too averse to that either. Hassan?
I mean, on the Madrid point, I think at least we would have a better team than we put out last time. So yeah,
we had Markovic last time, so it was a pretty good team.
We also have Borini, I think.
That tracks it down a bit.
And Kolo Toure had the most exciting 80-yard run of the game. So that was just a strange group. That was just like I'm just like shutting it down. I don't want to remember anything else.
That was such a strange manager. That's why.
I would say like realistically, maybe the quarterfinals. I think eventually, if we get like a really tough team over two legs, I'm not sure we can beat. I mean, even if we get, let's say, a Juve this time, and really step up and somehow get through, I'm not sure we can get through two tough teams in the Champions League. So I would say realistically quarterfinals. And I mean, if you're a team that's for a decade not been in the knockout stage, you'll take that. Realistically, we've done our bit. We topped the group, and it's just that there were other teams that were really tough to beat in the round 16 that we might potentially get. If we get a Shakhtar or Porto, then you have to expect the quarterfinals at least. And from there, I mean, yeah, if we get, as long as we're in knockout stage, I'm just satisfied. At least we've shown that we belong at this stage, as Paul said. I mean, yeah, we did our part. We'll see the luck of the draw on Monday.
That's right. And you guys want to add any other points to this Champions League day before we move to Everton?
I think the knockout stage should be very interesting this season, because there's a couple of teams that might surprise the big teams. I think in Besiktas, who are the unexpected leaders of the group they had, which was a tough group, and I think a team like Roma is like hitting form right at the right time. And yeah, I don't think, besides maybe Basel, and even Basel have a really good crop of young players who will be linked with a lot of teams by the end of the Champions League, and then the World Cup. A couple will be starting. I think, yeah, the knockout stage should be exciting.
And I don't think other teams want to draw us, as Paul said earlier. I don't think the likes of Madrid, Juventus, Bayern want to be drawing Liverpool. I think they fear. I think there's more fear on their end in terms of us being a dark horse rather than us fearing them, because they are obviously the favorites. We're the underdogs, and we seem to thrive in that role. It's had to be said over the years. Moving to this weekend, Merseyside derby. Everton have a new manager, Sam Allardyce. So, are you confident? Are you expecting a draw? Are you expecting a win? What are your predictions for this weekend?
The thing with clubs getting a new manager, and the thing that worries me a little bit about going into this derby, is that signing a new manager is usually a surefire way of bringing about an upturn in results for a small period of time, for 5 to 6 games, before teams tend to regress to the mean, and they go back usually to their old ways. That's kind of, they show the limitations of their squad and that kind of thing. But a new manager generally brings about an upturn in form. So what we can expect from Everton this week is better performances than the ones they were given when they were being managed by David Unsworth. Allardyce will probably have had just a little bit of time to drill a bit of defensive organisation into them. He has historically been a bit of a thorn in our side. I'm expecting a tough match by an invigorated squad that's been down on its luck recently. But I think they'll come to Anfield fancying that they can cause us some problems.
I agree. I do agree there. I don't think that they have a bad squad over there. They've spent a good bit of money. They have some talented players in there. Hassan, what do you feel?
I just think that if we perform to our potential, that we will win. And considering the results we've had recently, like, that's the only way we can go to the derby. I wonder about how as Big Sam will line up Everton. I'm not sure which formation he will go with. I'm not sure which players he will go with as well. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I think if our team just for once is consistent, which we can never rely on them to be, I I just trust us to get a good result if everyone kicks on. And it should be mentioned, hopefully Moreno isn't too seriously injured. And I wonder if he is out, whether Milner or Robertson goes into the side.
I think Milner will go into the side, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I think so too.
Because it's a derby game. Because it's a derby. I think it'll be Milner. Yeah, you know, Everton are a bit, I don't know, they're an interesting team because, as you know, we talked about, they have a new manager. I do see them possibly scraping a draw. I think the high that from this win, coupled with a new manager on their end, and they'll be up for this game. And you know, form goes out of the window when it comes to derbies. You know, they'll muck it up, they'll make it dirty, and they'll probably try to exploit us in our weaker areas, namely set pieces. So I could see possibly, you know, us letting our guard down a little bit. Maybe getting a little overconfident from today's result. Maybe a little too much champagne being drunk today. So I could see possibly a draw this weekend. I hope not, but I could see it. I could see us letting our guard down. Awesome.
I just hope we perform to our potential. That's it. And well, the good thing, I mean, this month we should capitalize on having a relatively easier fixture list than before. So I think we only have Arsenal on the 22nd, besides the derby, and the teams we're facing will be, you know, mostly mid-table and bottom of the table side. So we should make a run, and hopefully we continue this run on Sunday.
Need to find a way of unshackling this front four as well. As long as they live up to their potential, as long as we set up a team that brings the best out of them, then the run of fixtures that we've got, we should do well out of. Everton, I think, will have done their homework on us. They are desperate to come to Anfield and get a result there. They will know our weaknesses down to the ground. I don't think Spartak Moscow put themselves in a position to exploit our weaknesses the way I was expecting them to. Everton, I think, are going to do a more professional job on us. And it's going to be harder for us, I think, to get Firmino, Mane, Salah and Coutinho firing. But if we can get the right system that's going to get them to play with the kind of freedom that brings the very best out of 4 world-class players, Everton are in for a hard time on Monday. And so are the rest of the teams that we're going to play before the new year.
I have to agree as well on the Spartak thing. I was shocked when I saw them play with a 4-4-2. I did not expect that from them. And I think it played into our hands. Our midfield isn't like anything special, and we just controlled the game. And as for Everton, Big Sam hasn't gone to Cyprus for the last Europa League game. His assistants are taking young team over there, and to prepare them for the derby. Actually, he's going to keep a lot of the starting 11 back in Liverpool. And I mean, I do think Everton will make it tough for us. We'll try to make it tough for us, but considering their issues at fullback this season, and I think Leighton Baines is out as well. So really, if we have Salah and Mane, they're there for the taking if we play to our strengths.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see how this plays out over this weekend. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Today was a very good day, good performance. Everything really worked out as well as we could have hoped. Any final thoughts, Asa?
What we said before, bring on the Rhino 16, bring on the draw, bring on Everton, bring on everyone on this planet. We top the group.
Yeah, we need to, just catch ourselves. We need to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves, So, Paul, any final thoughts from you?
We can criticize this team and we can criticize this manager, and we can do that fairly. There are fair criticisms to be made. But if we get a Real, if we get a Bayern, if we get Juventus we have to believe in them, and we have to believe that they can get us a result, and we have to believe that they can get us into the quarterfinals at the very least. And no matter who we get, I look forward to it. I think we can give anyone a game if we play like that. Bring them on.
Absolutely. So, guys, thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. And we'll pick this up over this weekend.
Great. Pleasure.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.